The guy there just hauled it off, and I mean, he was hitting it in the face to let go of my dog. And the girl comes over and says, "Oh, what do we do about your dog's barking?" And I said, "Don't even go there. Don't even go there." I usually don't get mad like that, but I did. I hate to say. But I didn't bring out my gun.
That's right, but it's coming.
Yeah, right. I see him peeking through the fence.
The first one, it would have been.
Oh, you know.
Back of the head.
Well, she was supposed to follow the dangerous dog rules, and she hadn't. And for 3 weeks now, I've been calling the dog catcher and telling them, hey, it's, something needs to be done.
Yeah.
I texted him last night, and I said, I'm at the emergency care. I said, I'm done.
On that, but I was going to say, you want to borrow my AR and see if it works well on a dog?
I'm going to do it legally.
And you have to claim it's mine because it has a 30-round mag in it, so that's against the law now, too. Yeah, 30 rounds would be, loaning is pretty.
Yeah.
30 rounds is pushing it now, too, because that's, we're going to have a bunch of buy, sell, transport in. That's but we're still grandfathers. They're going to come in. They know if they come in right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, they will get them one day at a time. And that's what they know. And so they are staying away from that. So what are they making difficult for you?
Buy it.
To buy things, to get ammunition, parts, to get to loan. If you want to borrow his AR for something, yeah, all that. Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah.
My neighbor, his fiance, he asked if his fiance can take his handgun to Seattle, because she's like a Seattle. And you can generally up to you. However, if she doesn't have a CPO, she has to carry it open carry, which she can do an exterior on a belt. But man, oh man, he goes, well, I got to do what I have to do. I told him it's probably not the best idea. Protect yourself over.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting right there. It's decisions like that.
It is. Yeah.
They're still going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I did see a loophole.
Dog?
That holster is one. You happen to retrieve that gun from your dog because it couldn't shoot it for some reason. So you keep it right.
Okay.
There is a loophole. You're keeping them right next to you, right here. Why are you carrying your dog? It's fine.
We're gonna actually.
Dog strapped to your back.
The vibe right here. Oh, yeah.
Hey, how are you? How are you? Good to see you.
That was, actually, we're gonna order a 75-inch one of those and mount it here. So that when people come to give presentations, and get presentation there.
Did you order me my name tag? My name?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's not very good anymore. And then we'll get everything, business cards printed this way.
Oh, right.
And then each council.
Perfect. Yeah. On the website, meetings not coming up.
Oh, isn't it?
City meetings.
Good, 'cause I don't think I have time to search for it.
Yeah, I've had it on since I've been here. It hasn't came up. But Jackie sent me a copy, so I'll use it.
Wait,
Well, at $3,000 piece.
there's something on there, we gotta,
We only need one.
Yeah, you need to, if you have any information on, or any, what am I shooting for? If you talked about the attorney, you need to say yes or no.
Oh.
I hadn't, so I just told her no.
I wasn't here at that point.
I was, but I stayed out of that,
Uh-huh,
because it's personnel, it has nothing to do with us.
uh-huh. Well, I didn't even know
We have
anything was
one
going on
personnel
there.
sitting right there.
Should I order a green, like lime green, can for the judge? Yellow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. On a good night.
We're having a birthday and birthday party.
It was a big and then you have to stand. Yes.
Yeah.
All or nothing.
Okay.
They took the birthday for some other years ago. Well, that's, and I don't know about yeah, Britton Moore.
Did you hear her place got robbed, TJ?
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, what, yeah, I didn't, that's all I heard, I
That's all I've
didn't,
heard.
yeah.
I'm still going through all the shooting. You have to bypass that. Another crime. You'll be out there and then there's a list. From hell. Right.
Sunnyside City.
No, doesn't be a big one. Dealing with these.
Go ahead and take a seat, please. Go ahead and get started. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Sunnyside City Council for Monday, March 28, 2022. Madam Secretary, you go ahead and do a roll call.
Councilor Beeler,
Here.
Mayor Burnson, Councilor Farmer,
Here.
Councilor Ripley,
Here,
Deputy Mayor Stucci,
Here.
Councilor Hicks,
Here.
Councilor Hart,
Here.
Interim City Manager Alba, here. City Clerk Venteria, I am here. Finance and Administrative Services Director Horner, here. Fire Chief Anderson,
I'm here.
Police Chief Escalera,
Here.
Public Works Director Fisher,
I'm here.
Planning Supervisor Mike Shuttleworth,
Close.
Here. Here. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. For the record, we have a quorum. Mayor Borsman did ask for an excused absence for tonight's meeting, and if there's no objection, I'll excuse him. Hearing seeing no objection, so ordered. Mayor Borsman is excused from tonight's proceedings. Okay, we have a member of the audience, Jeff, who would like to give the invitation, so I'll go ahead and ask you to stand for the invitation, and then remain standing, and I'll lead you in the pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor and members of the council. My name is Jeff Bagel. I'm the pastor of Sunnyside First Baptist Church. Father God, we come to you as servants. Servants for our community. Servants for our nation. Servants for people of Christ. Servants for people who know Jesus, who need to know Jesus. God, we come before you tonight with many weighty matters. I would just ask that you would send your spirit to work inside minds and hearts, that good decisions are made. And they're made for the benefit of our community and for the people who live here. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Maybe City. First item is public comment. Any citizen in the audience wishing to address the council, please approach the microphone, state your name, city residence, and let us hear from you.
evening, everybody, council members. Appreciate you letting me take the time. Just wanted to talk about a recent event that happened at Britton Moore here in the Pearson.
happened at one of our businesses on Sixth Street. TJ's Refrigeration, we're right on Sixth Street, we park our vehicles strategically so that it makes it more difficult for people to break in, to hide, to steal. That doesn't always work. We had our vehicles, the windows smashed in, and the small tools taken, and whatever else they could get their hands on, things that could be pawned off, at pawn shops. This is the fifth time in 2.5 years. So I don't want to talk about our money laundering problems in town, or cartel, or gangs, or drugs. I want to talk about the hotel rooms on the highway and the other hotels in town. We've got a serious issue got to be addressed. These kids, people, come out late at night, they ride their bikes around town, they work together in teams to steal food. I did get a list just from January to current date of all the phone calls in the police department. It takes a lot of our resource time to handle these phone calls. Many different, and they're categorized by hotel. And so in total, it's about 100 and, oh gosh, Senator Bailey and I added it up. It's about 111 phone calls of services by the police department just from now till, so, you know, I believe that there's been in the past, curfews set up. I'd like that to be a possible topic of conversation. People on bikes walking around that late at night, they just have nothing to do but cause problems. I've talked about amongst people that have that same problem, starting a neighborhood watch like we used to do back in the late 70s and 80s. And we can work with the police department on that, but I know that we can come up with volunteers to do our own watching. I've also witnessed, and Joe's got some photos, these kids on bikes, they'll do their crime, they'll go hide their bike, and they're painting it in the parking lots of Ace or behind Ovalle a different color. So the next time you see them, it's a different color bike than what's on the camera. So they're clever enough. They're certainly not more clever than any of us, but I'd like us to start to really think about these hotels and the problems.
Other questions, comments from citizens? Yes.
I have a question for the police chief. How much are you restricted by the laws that have been made as far as being able to enforce the safety and well-being of our citizens?
Significantly from what we had prior to July 25th is when legislation and mandates passed that truly restricted law enforcement from really providing the services to really temper or maintain order within a jurisdiction, whether it's ours.
Do you have any recommendations or suggestions or thoughts as to how we some of these limitations?
Some of the legislation has recently changed. Some of it is coming back, like the use of that has been changed. Also, there has been some modifications to the reasonable suspicion rule, which is really the bread and butter of investigating and solving problems. And so there has been some modifications to that, not totally back to where it once was, but there's just a little bit more, there are still some very significant blocks, if you will, and keep us from actually providing the crime that's currently occurring now.
And last question is, we live in an area that previously had very, very few problems, but more and more we're concerned with our safety. Senior citizens that protecting our property and our lives.
Well, I think a lot of it is gonna be, in my, I submitted a plan to the Public Safety Committee, and the plan is basically how we're gonna be able to control some of this and temper some of this, even though we do have restrictions. There's certain ways that we're gonna have to work. May not be the most direct way, however, it is for us to do. But one of those is community mobilization, that will be absolute for us to win this thing. Something senior citizens, everybody alike is gonna have to pitch in. It's gonna take that, normally.
Thank you, Chief.
Sir, could you please state your name and city
Oh,
residence?
I'm terribly sorry, Gary Simmons.
If we could remind everyone to speak very clearly into the microphone and be as close as you can. They're having trouble hearing online.
Okay, thank you for that. Other citizens wishing to address the council?
I get them inside the house.
Good evening, Lisa Fairbairn, Sunnyside. Good evening, council. I'd like to speak to you this evening about the crime. Our property has been tagged twice in a drive-by shooting. That is not acceptable. Our community has had numerous shootings, and it's become the norm. Right around the community, and our businesses and homes, our streets, our sidewalks are filthy. Does this sound familiar to anyone in this room? A decade ago, the city, the hospital, the school district formed partnerships. One of the partnerships was to hire a grant writer. We have one. With those grants, we can bring better lighting to our streets, possibly cameras in our downtown core. Think of the endless possibilities of those grants. Another outcome of that partnership was they formed an anti-gang initiative. There was money put in from all those three entities to provide prevention, intervention, and suppression. Data shows that we need all three of these things to make positive change to our communities. We need more police officers. I have not talked to the chief. He does not know that I'm going to say that. That's me. I am talking to our police officers. I'm asking them, what do you guys need? We need reliable vehicles so they can do their jobs. Of course, that all needs, we need money for all of that, right? Well, it needs to be a priority. We need the community to come together and work together by the violence. It can't just be the police. Our community members have ideas. Ask us. We need better communication. If something happens in Sunnyside, utilize your social media pages. Fire, police department. People make up anything they want. They see the lights going, oh, there's a shooting. Someone just actually got pulled over. I know I'm going over and I'm almost done. We need community pride back. We need our community back. I just have a real quick question for you. On that public safety committee, are there any community members on that?
Members? Community members?
Community members.
No, the public safety committee is designated by the mayor. So it encompasses, three, folks that you see sitting up front here. And of course, we actually presented them.
We need to get our community involved, and people will do it. You just have to ask. Thank you very much for your time.
If I could comment real quick on it, once again, that is definitely, indicated in the plan that was community motivation, like I said earlier, it will be the key.
Thank you. Other citizens wishing to address the council?
Jim Stevens, 328 Cranberry Avenue.
Good evening, Mayor.
Thank you. So, just, reiterating her previous comments, true, I think the whole past with the community members. The community's ready to get out and help. First, I think we have a great police force. And, cut by the governor, and I understand that, but the issue, the shootings, the robberies, the dissidents, we have to find a way around it. We have to say, yes, we can, no, well, we can't because we, whatever we have to do, we need to make a strong stand. It's combining with other communities that are absolutely trying to do that. We have a number of other communities with us. That's going to make much more of an impact. Lone Ranger. I talked to a school teacher yesterday in his home. Sunnyside Avenue, or some guy who 3 or 4 local police there, and the rest of me. I understand that this guy won't wander around wearing, as he walks around the streets yelling, profanity with a sidearm strapped to the front of his feet. Other guy, and I think he get called about the porcelain toilet. And, the shards of porcelain all say, well, hey, there's nothing we can do. So, citizens are here to empower you as a council. So that you officers on the street really needs to be put in. So we're here for you, to help you, to support you. We want to tell the police all the time, we'll support you every single day. And we do have a really good police force. All the way down the line and up the line.
Thanks, Roxy. Other residents that want to address the council? Anybody in the audience? Going once. Okay, moving on. Well, as the majority of the comments were public safety related, and the public safety committee did meet twice last week. We have the vice chair of the committee here, and so I'm going to turn the gavel over to Councilman Farmer, who's going to brief us on the public safety committee's report.
Appreciate it, Deputy Mayor. Did meet, and we probably spent almost 4 hours going over
Okay. We did meet last, a couple weeks ago, and we were almost 4 hours, going over fire department and police concerns and reports. I think we're mainly here for the police tonight. 2 weeks ago, I didn't know I was going to make this report till last week. If I would have known that, I would have maybe taken a little better notes than what I did. So if I forget something or misspeak, I would like the chief to jump in and correct, and same way with Councilman Craig Hicks. He's on the safety committee also. We spent a lot of time on was we are short personnel. We've had a massive amount of retirements. We've had some officers leave for other jobs, and it's hard to get trained police officers off the street ready to go to work. It takes a lot of time, and they are making progress. We have some, I guess, in the chute, I guess you might call it, that will be coming on duty soon. We've also talked about what it's going to take to hire more police officers. And basically, it comes down to money. We're not the lowest paid police officers, but we're not the highest paid, so it's something that we're going to have to look into maybe addressing. Also, the chief mentioned that the new thing in police cars, or police officers, is their own car to take home. So that's something else that is a big plus when you're going to hire somebody, that they have a car that they can take home. There's been some changes to the command structure of the P, making it a little more efficient. And I think the mayor at our last meeting talked about it, and I'm going to bring it up again, is we talked about cameras. Buying some cameras and placing them in strategic points in the city. The capabilities of these cameras is amazing. You can tell the camera you want to see a red car in this time frame, or you want to see a guy with a blue jacket in this building during this time frame, and it will find it and show it to you. So I think that's a tool that could be used, especially if we got a lot of undesirables driving around and causing trouble. It might be a little easier to track them. Talked about how many police officers we should have per 1,000. And if I'm not misquoting, I think it's 2 per 1,000.
That's correct, 2 to 2.5.
2 to 2.5, and we don't have that. And if you function into factor in our population that was not counted in the census, I think the number was about 0.7. Was I correct there?
It kind of depends on how you look at it, but it's actually deployed on the road here around 0.4 to 0.5. Certainly.
So we are definitely understaffed, and it needs to be addressed. We talked about this is not just a police department problem. This is a community problem, as we've talked about this evening. And Block Watch was mentioned. We need to have some type of a forum. iWatch has graciously consented to organizing it and leading that. We need to get to know our neighbors. We need to be able to tell our neighbors what we saw and have that brought forth to the police department. We talked about, we do have a gang prevention team just starting, which is going to focus on gangs and something that is just tearing this community apart. And as we've already talked about, the state and the courts have absolutely handcuffed our police department. They are not able to do the job they were able to do 10 years ago. we need to talk to our legislators, and we need to tell them that what they did was wrong. And they have opened it up a little bit again, but we're not anywhere close to where we should be. People need to be held accountable for their actions. And if we can't do anything more than wave as we drive by them, there's something wrong. I know, and this is Facebook stuff, so I may be wrong, but they had a felony arrest across from my business last week. My understanding is this guy had several felony warrants, and he's been stopped by the police previous to this. Why wasn't he in jail then? We need to work together. This is a community problem. I know if we get together with the faith community and with the schools and with the city and with the hospital, this is a problem that we can overcome. We've done it once, and we can certainly do it again. I think that would be all I would have to report, unless Greg has anything.
That's pretty much what went on.
Do you want to add anything, Chief?
I appreciate what you're saying. I think it's all good there, and I think what Councilman Farmer is speaking to is certainly at a much higher level right now, and it's the nuts and bolts of those things are very taxing. There's no question about that, and not one particular model or one particular solution is the answer. It's going to take a multitude of things in order to get things done. But again, and I just want to reinforce what you're saying. This is definitely a community problem. It's a community issue. We're just here to help you with that issue. But at the end of the day, we do need tools to work with, and legislation has taken an awful lot of that away. The tools that we had prior to January or July of 2021 are not here, and those are the same tools we used to combat issues back in 2010, 11, and 12, and back in the 90s when things were very difficult here back in the late 90s. So those tools don't exist for us really anymore, and so now we are going to be relying significantly on the community, but there's going to be many things that we'll discuss on Monday.
There was one thing I did forget to mention. We doubled the size of the patrols on the weekends. This is overtime money council, so it's expensive, but it's money we have to spend. And but also on the other side of it is taxing to our officers that don't get a day off. You know, they continually work 10, 12 hours a day, every day. This is something that I think we need to remember when we see our police officers, what they are actually going through and how they are responding to the needs of the community. Thanks, Mr. Farmer. Other questions, comments from council? Ms. Hart, would you like to comment?
As long as we're making comments at this point of the evening. This past week, I attended the Yakima Valley Conference of Governments, where there were 4 different speakers talking about crime, regional crime center possibilities, also some strategic software to be used to kind of pinpoint more accurately where crime is being committed, and also how to get officers more strategically and faster to locations of crime. And we could map out the city where we know things are happening, various communities in the core area, also around convenience stores, that sort of thing, any of those places where crime hits. And I think it's something that we're really going to need to look at doing. The COG is currently looking into it, and that represents cities from all over the Yakima Valley. It's not just Sunnyside, but I certainly think Sunnyside is in a position to be the leader in bringing this kind of software into our community, where we can actually be more effective and have better use of the resources we have. I think that we're going to have more conversation about the program. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called exactly. Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Restucci, could you help me with that, please?
Yeah, it's the Regional Crime Resource Center.
Yes.
And that's Yakima Valley Council of Governments. And we presented to a number of councils in the valley, and presented to the valley mayors at the mayor's meeting. I would say 90% of the mayors and council members are on board with this idea of having a regional center in which crime statistics and analytics will be done at the county level and then shared amongst all police departments. The other piece is the NIDA system, which is a National Information Ballistics. Chief, can you give me the right thing with it? Basically, it checks bullets and casings, and then loads them into a national database in which they can then be checked. And what we heard from the ATF at the presentation last week was that they believe there's not a lot of shooters in this valley. Just there's some guns and they're being shared amongst a lot of different people. And so what this system would be able to do is actually give us a heat map and show us where the guns are being used. So if a gun gets handed to one person, and that person commits a crime in Sunnyside, and then the gang takes that gun and gives it to another gang member, and that person commits a crime in Toppenish. Right now, there's not a way for us to find that out except sending the weapons off to Cheney or to the state police lab and waiting for them to come back. And they have a backload just like, everybody else in the country right now when it comes to this type of stuff. So we're looking at a solution that would keep the systems here in our valley. It'd be run at the county level and would be shared amongst all the police departments in the valley. So all the police departments would have the same intelligence information. And we've gotten a lot of feedback. Obviously, Yakima's been pushing back a little bit on it because they already have crime analysts and they already do a lot of what we want to do regionally. So getting them to join may be a little bit more difficult, but we haven't given up yet. We presented to them last week at their council meeting. And as chair of the COG now, in my 12th year as chairman of the Council of Governments, I'm excited about this. This is a great opportunity for our valley. And right now, just so you know, if Chief has a shooting and he collects casings, that person either has to travel to Tri-Cities if they're qualified and operate a piece of equipment down there, or they have to go to Cheney and give it to the state lab there, and they have to wait for it to come back, and that can take days, sometimes weeks. What this system would allow us to do is be able to start that investigation within 4 hours. We'd be able to test those pieces of those casings that were found in the scene, and detectives would immediately be able to get a heat map and information based on that and know where that gun's been used. If it's already in the system, obviously. I think that's a really good thing for us to be looking at. We're not going to solve this problem with just the police department. We're not going to solve it with just suppression. It takes intervention, prevention, it takes the 3 schools that we've all talked about. The gang-free initiative that was created over a decade ago. I brought that legislation to council. And I put together the program with the school district, and I was excited about that program. That program is still alive. It's in a committee form now, and it's in Sunnyside United Unidos. That organization actually oversees the gang-free initiative for the city. And I know the city manager is probably connected with Sunnyside Connect, and we have a council member that's on Sunnyside Connect. So hopefully, we'll be able to get some information from that as well. So I can tell you, I've talked to mayors and council members up and down the valley. We're all concerned about this. This is not just a Sunnyside problem. This problem is happening in our valley. It's cyclic. It happens every couple of decades. We see it happen. When I was mayor in 2010, we had those 16 shootings in the first 3 months, and then we had the murder on Yakima Valley Highway from the MS-13 gang member who came to town to actually commit that execution. And there was a gentleman who came in this room, and he gave a bullet to Ed Ratter, and then he had Ed give me that bullet put in front of me, and he told everybody in this room in Spanish, because he was monolingual, that bullet had missed his sleeping daughter by 4 inches. He had to dig it out of his wall. That's when we created the Public Safety Committee for the first time in the city. We've now gone and actually created a permanent Public Safety Committee within the council that meets regularly with both the police chief and the fire chief. And I truly believe this is how we fix this. We work together as a community. Dr. Stevens, your iWatch program is important. It's a key role here, because you already have stuff in place that other programs, other Blackwatch programs can use. So I think it's really important that you're communicating with us on how you run your program and things of that nature. So, Pete, do you have anything else to add?
And I appreciate those comments. I think the Regional Crime Center is a great idea. It's something that, you know, we also have our analysts here. We do have an analyst. We do very much what Yakima PD does currently. They just have a couple more than we do. Really. So financially, you know, we'll have to talk about that, right? And how it benefits us. Maybe it might benefit us to go elsewhere or do something different with that money, because we definitely share the bad guys, right? Everybody does up and down the valley. We share the same shooters. We share the same type of crime. It's just that it's going to take. There is not one single dimensional solution to this problem. It can't come from one. It's multiple. It's multifaceted. There isn't an expert out there that'll ever tell you that there's one way to take it. It will be multidimensional, and obviously sharing information is huge. It is that. It's a major thing. We're going to need more resources. It won't be as smooth as, you know, the information will go out on a heat map and then we're able to direct resources. That has to be planned out with what it is that you currently have here, working here, or what they have in Granger, or what they might have in Zilla. Yeah, it's really going to be dependent on what you have to fight with. So those tools are important. I think the concepts and the ideas are great, and so we'll see how it goes. You know, how things go from here.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Other questions, comments from council? Ms. Hart, do you have anything else?
Not at this time.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
Conclude your report section, this fine.
Okay, Madam Senior, did you want to weigh in on this?
I would like to. So I was going to report this out during my report at the end of the meeting, but I think it's important that it's said now. I have plans in place to have a series of community forums, and they'll start in April with an employee meet and greet, so you can come in and meet the officers, meet the people that have actually been hired in the last 2 years that due to COVID, you know, haven't been introduced, and you may have new faces. So the plan is to have April be an employee reception meet and greet, and we're going to actually notice it, so all 7 council members will be able. It'll be a special meeting of the council. And then community forums, we're going to have them starting in May, where we reach out to the community and ask them to come and talk to us about what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, give us suggestions, and have everybody come to the table. And that'll be everybody's chance to sit down at a round table with a council member or myself and just ask questions and ask, what are we doing? What are you seeing that you think is working? And those community forums will be at different times on different days to allow people that have work schedules to come. So June, it'll be at lunchtime, May at lunchtime. June, it'll be in the evening, and in July, it'll be on a Saturday, so that we can try to get the message out to enough people so that they can come if it fits their schedule. And then the last thing that we're doing is we're going to change the way we do National Night Out. And we are not going to have a big festival in the park. We're actually going to move it to 4 neighborhoods. Our police department is going to hand out flyers to the individual homes in that neighborhood. And we're going to ask that if you come, you bring your flyer so we know you're from that neighborhood. By making it smaller, we're hoping it's more intimate. We're hoping that people can get to know their neighbors and understand who they are and know who they can rely on their block or even around the block. And then to celebrate National Night Out Day, we are going to offer free swimming and have fireworks, just so we celebrate it, but we aren't going to have the great big gathering downtown. We're going to try to get these back in the neighborhoods, back getting people to know each other in their neighborhoods, and we're going to pick the areas that we know have had problems. So I just wanted to bring that forward. There is no magic fix, like we've all said. But I'm hoping the community can understand that we are looking at every avenue we can to try to help get this under control. I have a trial camera in the window at City Hall that we're trying, the one that can do all kinds of fabulous things. We plan on going out to bid for a camera system. We know that that's a need and not a want. We also have an appointment this next week with Enterprise Fleet Management. They can possibly replace our entire fleet in 3 years. I talked to the city manager at a training a week and a half ago, and the city of Sultan in 3 years had a brand new fleet. And so if I can come up with these ideas to get good cars, good vehicles for our officers, we can probably get some of the little pieces of the puzzle put in place. So I just wanted citizens and everyone to know, we've been working really hard on this, and we take it very seriously. And we know the needs, and we're going to prioritize them and make sure that we get everybody on the same page.
Thank you. Council, other questions, comments on this item? Thank you, Mr. Farmer, for your report. We'll go ahead and move on. We do have a proclamation tonight. I kind of skipped it because of all the public safety stuff. I wanted to just go input, so we'll go ahead and do the proclamation real quick here. Whereas the Agriculture Council of America is an organization uniquely composed of leaders in the agriculture, food, and fiber communities dedicated to increasing public awareness of agriculture's vital role in our society, and has since 1973 sponsored a National Ag Day program. And whereas the President of the United States recently issued Proclamation 10158 proclaiming National Agriculture Day, in which he called upon the people of the United States to, quote, recognize the unique and irreplaceable value that farmers, ranchers, foresters, farm workers, and other agricultural stewards have contributed to our nation's past and present. And whereas the city of Sunnyside has, since its inception, been an agricultural-based farm community, and our farmers contribute to the over 40 commercial crops grown in Yakima Valley, including asparagus, hops, corn, wheat, peppers, cherries, peaches, mint, grapes, and apples. And whereas the city of Sunnyside wishes to join with the President and Congressman Dan Newhouse of the 4th Congressional District in expressing our sincere appreciation for the farmers and ranchers of our community, we publicly thank them for their contributions. Now therefore, I, James A. Restucci, Deputy Mayor of the City of Sunnyside, Washington, by virtue of the authority vested in me and the laws of the state of Washington, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim today, March 28, 2022, as National Agriculture Day in the City of Sunnyside. With this, I have hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Sunnyside to be affixed on the City of Sunnyside the 20th day of March in the year 2022. Council, while I execute this document, comments or questions? And I understand, Madam City Manager, that because we missed it and it was all last year, that next year we're going to have events and everything scheduled for this.
That's correct.
Wonderful. Looking forward to that. Okay, Council, moving on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of approval of payroll vouchers number 119065 through 119071 and wire transfers as listed for $410,935.31 for the period ending on March 10th, 2022. Claim vouchers, approved claim vouchers number 103190 through 103225, and wire transfers is listed for $594,525.23 for the period ending on March 9th, 2022. Approved claim vouchers numbers 103226 to 103289, and wire transfers as listed for $594,525.23 for the period ending March 16th, 2022. And approved claim vouchers number 103290 to 103322, and wire transfers as listed for $163,944.09 for the period ending on March 24th, 2022. Does any member wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, what is council desiring the consent agenda as presented?
Councilor Beeler to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Beeler, second by Hicks, that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Debate or discussion on this item?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question. I couldn't understand what the abbreviations were on the first, and I forgot my paper, but on the first claim vouchers, there's a bunch of, for associated
Sorry, Ms. Horner, would you have an answer for that?
I do. Association of Washington Cities operates a workers' comp retro pay program for us. And so basically they handle a lot of our LNI claims and a whole process there. And so they send us a bill out for that on an annual basis.
So, what struck me, was the city council was on this.
Because we pay LNI for you guys.
There you go, Lauren. It's kind of funny, we are considered employees, but not zero here for sure. Yeah, definitely. Other questions, comments, other debate on this item? Hearing none, unless there's division in the House, folks, I'm just going to do a voice vote. The chair can determine whether or not it's actually passed or not, or you can appeal it. So I'm hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. I too vote aye, and the chair, the ayes have it, the motion passes. Moving on. Back to the agenda, first item, Sunnyside Comprehensive Plan. Consider adopting an ordinance that will adopt the 2022 Sunnyside Comprehensive Plan and direct staff to submit the plan to the Washington State Department of Commerce. Madam City Manager, can you brief the audience and council on this item?
I will turn this over to Planner Shuttleworth and wish him happiness on his last agenda item.
Thank you. Excuse me. This is the last of a process we started almost a year ago. So the Planning Commission has been reviewing this plan. They made a recommendation to the City Council. The City Council reviewed it at a workshop and then conducted a public hearing. And after that public hearing and taking testimony, the council directed us to prepare an ordinance for the adoption of the plan. That's my comments, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Council members, questions, comments on this item? What is your desire?
Move to approve.
Who said that? Excuse me, who said that?
We have a motion by Hicks and second by Beeler.
Thank you.
Motion by Hicks, second by Beeler, that we approve the Sunnyside Comprehensive Plan and adopt the 2022 Sunnyside Comprehensive Plan and direct staff to submit the plan to the Washington State Department of Commerce. Debate or discussion on this item? I just want to thank staff, Mr. Shuttleworth specifically, for all your hard work on this. We truly appreciate the work you did. We know the city was behind on our comprehensive plan, like many other cities in the valley, so it's great to be able to get this done and put a nail in it, as they say.
Along with staff, I'd like to thank the Planning Commission for they spent many hours on it. Hard work, and appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Farmer. And let the record show we have the chair of the Planning Commission, Britt Moore, here tonight. So thank you, Madam Chair. Other debate discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. I too vote aye. Being chair, the ayes have it, the motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to update the classification compensation schedule. Consider adopting an ordinance adopting the updated classification and compensation schedule. Madam City Manager, would you brief the audience and council on this item?
We'll turn this over to Ms. Horner.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. This is the update to the classification and compensation schedule following the approval of the new jobs that you, as council, created at the most recent meeting. So the Exhibit A is attached there, and the highlighted items are the items that you made changes to. And this is just putting numbers to those new jobs. So the Community and Economic Development Director is going in at the same level as the Public Works and Administrative Services Director. We're creating that new line item for Information Technology Specialist based on a survey of area jobs, and The community center receptionist job was based on a comparison of other area receptionist jobs. And then the police support job on the second page there, was already established by council.
Council members, questions or comments? Hearing none, what is your desire on this item?
Move
This is
to
Councilman
approve.
Hart. Excuse me. Somebody spoke ahead of me.
I have a motion by Ripley. Do you want a
Second?
second?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Motion by Ripley, second by Hart, that we consider adopting an ordinance adopting the updated classification. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. I two vote aye, motion passes. Moving on. Reister Fire Code Compliance Engine SLA. Consider authorizing the interim city manager to enter an agreement with Reister LLC DBA as the compliance engine to assist the Sunnyside Fire Department in improving fire and life safety code compliance. Madam City Manager, can you brief the audience and council on this item, please?
I will turn this over to Fire Chief Anderson.
Madam City Manager, council members. This, one of the, ways the department has to meet its mission is heavily relies on fire prevention, which includes inspections, testing, and maintenance of systems. Fire department provides, annual fire and life safety inspections. We also provide inspections on, new businesses and new construction. One of the things that for being unable to do much of that for 2 years, we're starting to find out that there's third-party inspections that have not been necessarily completed, such as testing of fire alarms, testing of sprinkler systems and systems and whatnot. And so unfortunately, we don't often find those until there's an incident, or we actually do an annual inspection or there's a complaint of some sort. So this company, Reister, they offer a cloud-based solution to this. They were recommended by the Western Fire Chiefs to us, but what they do is they basically function as an intermediary between the businesses that fall under the code that have to have sprinklers, et cetera. So what the company does is they notify and monitor those businesses, notify those business owners or occupancies that they're coming due for a third-party inspection. The business then contacts a third-party vendor. All the vendors are required to, once they complete the testing and the maintenance of those systems, then notifies Reister. And then Reister, the compliance engine, then they maintain as a cloud-based and the fire department has access. Right now, with the largest part of that is it's an honor system. And this would help us accomplish our goal of 100% compliance at no cost to the city. There's no cost to the business owner either. Well, it's just cost structure is set up that the third-party contractor pays it.
Thank you. Council, questions or comments on this item?
Does this cover the typical fire extinguisher surveys that you do when you guys come out, or is this just for the hard component?
This is the required third-party inspections. So the stuff, the specialist stuff, like ABC and some of the alarm companies do.
Other questions, comments? What's your desire, council?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hicks, second by Ripley, that we approve, consider authorizing the interim city manager to enter an agreement with Reister LLC DBA as compliance engine to assist the SFD in improving fire and life safety code compliance. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Sorry about that, okay? Those opposed, no? I do vote aye, motion passes. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to Yakima Waste contract extension. Consider authorizing the city manager to sign the contract extension with Yakima Waste Services. Madam City Manager, can you brief the audience and council on this item?
I will let Ms. Warner brief on this one.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. The contract for garbage services with Yakima Waste they operate our garbage utility in the city, is up for renewal, and it actually currently expires on April 15th. There are some areas of that contract that the city and the company are working through, and we won't be able to complete this contract by that date. So this extension will add 90 days to the existing contract to allow time for negotiation.
Councilmembers, questions or comments?
Will this be at the same price, the extension?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Will the extension be at the same price we're going
Oh,
now?
no changes at all to the current contract.
Other questions, comments? Hearing none, what is your desire on this item?
Counselor Beeler moved to approve the contract extension with Yakima Waste.
I'll second.
Motion by Beeler, second by Ridley, that we authorize the city manager to sign the contract extension with Yakima Waste Services. Further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. I too vote aye, and being chair, the ayes have it, the motion passes. Moving on. Items from council members. Council, the mayor did not give me any appointments for boards or commissions, so I don't have anything there. Council staff's report. Anything to report out of it?
We have a few items to report. Do you have the list here? Tree replacement plan, Mr. Fisher, would you please let us know where you're at with that?
Absolutely. So we've kind of been looking at doing the replacement of the trees and the sidewalks at the same time, because a lot of the stuff has to come out when the trees go in. I've been working with Stephanie with HLA. We do have a citywide ADA issue right now, so we kind of decided to maybe package that together and do the downtown sidewalks, tree replacement, curb gutter sidewalks, along with those ADA facilities, and kind of work our way out of the downtown core. So here in the next couple of meetings, we're bringing back like a 5-year plan for how we plan to accomplish that. Now, the citywide ADA upgrades, that's part of our 6-year tip. So each year what we'll do is we'll break off kind of a piece of that, bring it to you guys, we'll take a look at it. So here in the next, I'm hoping by the end of April, we'll have a plan put together, we'll bring it back to you, and let's take a look.
Okay. Very good.
I have no updates on Roger Brooks or the water tower. And if you could go down just a little bit, prosecutor RFP was extended 1 week due that we only had 2 applicants. A second extension has been put out with a more generous time for applicants to apply, and the RFP has been sent to the Yakima and Tri-Cities Bar Association listservs in order to facilitate. That's our update so far.
Councilmembers, do you have any other items for the council request status report? If you have items, please get them to the deputy mayor. I'll get them to the mayor myself, please. Moving on. Other reports, announcements, and/or questions of the council? Ms. Hart, how about we start with you?
All right. If my dogs will settle down back here behind me. They must have heard a siren. As I said earlier, I attended the YVCOG, the Yakima Valley Conference of Governments meeting via Zoom. As I understand it, the next one is going to be in person, and I already forgot where we're going to go for that one. I think it's Toppenish.
Actually, we're still deciding whether or not it's going to be in person.
Okay.
Right now, all of the are still.
Or still Zoom?
meetings.
Yeah.
Well, because we have a dinner that we have to cater, and so getting somebody to cater the meal and finding a venue has become difficult to,
Okay.
we're trying to overcome.
Yeah, it was very interesting. It's been a long time since I had attended a COG meeting. This one happened to be focused on crime analysis and strategies. And I thought that was apropos for what we are facing here in Sunnyside. So it was a real opportunity to hear a little bit more advanced kinds of strategies. So I'm hoping that we can, as we're going down the line thinking about safety, that we start to look at some of those strategies that particularly with the Regional Crime Center and the different kinds of analysis that can be provided. I think it's a really good program. I think that we need desperately to adopt it. But that was a report that I remember most clearly. I do, on a different note, want to say that I'm hoping that the police and the firemen enjoyed their dinner on Wednesday night during drill. The Sunnyside Lions provided them with dinner, pulled pork sandwiches. We sent out, I believe, about 50 meals, of which 10 went to the police department and in to-go boxes. So, but I did hope that they enjoyed their meal, and we hope to have more people maybe come from the council next year. We'll try to remember to invite some of you to kind of come talk. It was an opportunity for the Lions to get to know some of the officers, police officers, and some of the firemen that they'd not met in a long time. There's been some changes there, of course. And so it was wonderful to be able to meet some of the new officers. And I'm hoping that at some point, the police department and the firemen will have an opportunity to bring their officers, new people on to a council meeting for so that we can meet them as well. That's all I have to report at this time.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Beeler.
So we had another airport authority meeting, and we just couldn't get a quorum. So we couldn't have the meeting, so we're scheduled to have another one next.
Next. Ms. Ripley. Mr. Farmer.
No, I think I'll.
Wow, really? Okay. Anything to add tonight either, so no reports from me. Moving on to upcoming council meetings, what do we have for Monday, April 4th, 2022 workshop, Madam City Manager?
So we have the first quarter financial report. I will be giving you more information about the employee reception meet and greet. I'm hoping that can be a forum for all of our new employees to go. I was going to put new employees, but then I decided, if there's somebody that feels like they want to meet council or talk to council, let them come. So it'll be a chance for all the employees to come, and the community also will be involved and allowed to come. And just, it's not going to be anything super formal, round tables. And that's kind of how we're going to open it up for everybody. So you will get to meet the new officers and the new firefighters and people that haven't been in person for so long. So that will be in April. Community forums, mentioned that earlier. 3 forums planned for May, June, and July to just let our community, hear their voice, talk to us. And we're going to really blast that on social media, making sure that we get people hearing it and seeing it more than once. And then everything will be translated in Spanish as well, so that we have both forms of media out there. Next one, National Night Out changes. I summarized that earlier, but we'll be giving you a little bit bigger picture of kind of what we want to do with those. And then the very last item is going to be our policing Sunnyside presentation. Chief and his crew will be in here and give a high-level overview of what they're doing and what their needs are. So that will probably take the bulk of Monday. So we're going to keep the first 4 items fairly short and give our police department an opportunity to have us hear what he has to say. And then April 11th, it's a regular meeting. We'll have National Volunteer Week and Budget Amendment number 1. And April 25th, contract update with People for People, Meals on Wheels. And hopefully approve a contract for prosecution services. So we'll see if we get it done by then.
Anything else? Council, anything for these 3 meetings? You have items, when do you have cut off for these?
The Wednesday before the meeting,
Okay, so that would be,
March 31st.
okay, so if you have items, please give them to the mayor, myself, or the clerk before March 31st. Moving on to items from department heads.
I am actually going to pass this down to the department heads first. So let's start with Fire Chief Anderson.
Thank Thank you, Madam City Manager. First off, yes, I just wanted, I was gonna thank Councilman Hart. We much appreciated the dinner that was offered to the police, and we had several on-duty police officers came, and quite a few fire department personnel as well. So, that was greatly appreciated on our training night. Something else I just wanted to put out there to the public, if it's okay. Before the COVID pandemic, the fire department has a pretty used training room there, training facility. And we had a lot of businesses and local organizations that would come in and have their meetings and whatnot. And we would like to put that message back out there that they're welcome to return, if they would like. Also, we're going to start, we did purchase new props, training props, so that we can start doing citizen CPR, hands-on CPR, and AED training as well. So I just need to get the message out to people.
And now, Public Works Director Fisher.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. A couple items here. So tomorrow morning, we start the Allen Road Sewer Improvement Project. Only take about 5 to 6 days to get that project done. Should be pretty quick in and out. And then, of course, our parks are opening on April 1st. So guys are gearing up, getting bathrooms open, things cleaned up, and gearing up for that. That's all I have.
Finance Administrative Services Director.
I would like to report to you everything that's going on in our Parks and Recreation Department, but I forgot my notes, so I have to use my Facebook page. And just in case anyone didn't know, there is a Sunnyside Community Center Facebook page that is operated by Gwen Weir, our recreation coordinator. She puts all sorts of excellent stuff on there, including the items of the dates I'm going to use right now. The next thing we have coming up is this weekend. We have the Great Easter Egg Hunt, so that'll be on the 2nd at 10 a.m. And the Easter egg hunt will be separated into age groups, so that everybody has a chance to get their eggs, and the Easter Bunny will be present. Following that, on April 8th, we have a movie night in the park, and so this will be at South Hill Park. We'll be playing the movie Encanto, and yes, we know it'll be a little chilly, but we do have some outdoor heaters, and then we'll have some concessions. So bring your chairs, bring your blankets, and come enjoy. And Encanto did just win an Academy Award last night for Best Animated Film, so come watch it. And then we have our bunny brunch, an Easter bunny breakfast meet and greet. So that will be the day before Easter on April 16th. At the community center, people can come down and have bunny-shaped pancakes, eggs, bacon, and sit and take pictures, chat with the Easter bunny, and relax and enjoy a nice brunch. And that is all I have to report.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Chief Escalera.
Oh, good evening again. I was not around when they brought the meals in. They had a family emergency and was gone working from home or by phone most of that week. But I know the guys did definitely receive and really appreciated what was delivered and what was offered to them. And so they really love that. And so I did talk to them, and I was sorry I missed it. Really sorry I missed it. So they definitely ate their share. So anyways, so it was great. It was great on that. And so a big thank you to those that were involved in delivering and providing for the fire department and for the police department. So it was great.
Well, and for my reports, I've pretty much kind of gotten a free rein today at a meeting. This seems like a very strange meeting in some ways, because normally I don't get to talk that much, but I did want to say that we are taking crime, graffiti, all of the things that we're seeing in our community very seriously, and we are all working together, all the way down from our parks maintenance that went and bought a spray paint gun so they could paint faster to cover up the graffiti. We know that there is a problem. Today, the sheriff's department had an officer at my Rotary meeting at noon, and he is trained just in graffiti. And he showed us some of the things that are around our town and what are happening. And he said, this is not just Sunnyside. This is all the way from Yakima to the Tri-Cities. And he said, it is not just our problem, it is a big problem. And it's not something that we're gonna be able to combat with just one strategy. The one thing he did stress, though, is, the police department can no longer talk to juveniles and ask them questions. Can't say, hey, what's going on? What that does is that takes a criminal older, and he says, here's a gun, you go do it. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that is the climate we live in and the mentality that is out there. So we really, really need to encourage and support our youth programs, our recreation activities, and get them in there as young as we can, get them involved in sports, get them involved in after-school activities. Because a lot of times I think what this stems from is mom and dad's not home because they're at work, the kids are off running around, or, you know, don't have a lot of supervision. We need things for kids to do, and we need things that are healthy. So I have very much support from the council, I know, and I want support from our citizens, because I think that's where it really needs to come from. We have a couple hundred gangsters maybe in this valley. We probably have 20,000 people in this community. We gotta get together. We gotta do it together, and that's the only way we're gonna combat this, is if we reach out to the religious community, we reach out to other organizations, the Rotary, Kiwanis, well, I don't know if we have Kiwanis anymore, Lions Club, and maybe at these community forums, we can get everybody there and talk and try to find a solution. And I'll be honest with you, if I have to go out and walk the streets, I will, I don't mind, but we've got to do something for our community. So I just wanted you guys to know I'm throwing every resource I've got at this problem, and I hope we can find a solution that works. That's all I have.
Okay, I know of no other business to come for this, before this addressed body, and we'll adjourn the meeting if there's no objection. Hearing, seeing no objection, so ordered, we are adjourned as of 7:40 PM. Thank you, everyone.